Hello friends, welcome again. In the last lecture, as you know, we talked about formatting. So let's quickly summarize that topic and we will move ahead with this today's lecture. So in formatting, we discussed basically about what is formatting, why is important to us. We understood that formatting actually brings standardization in the way we write our research paper. How is it useful in getting papers reviewed by our reviewers and readers? What is the impact that it creates on the users? I mean readers, and what are the key things that we have to understand while doing formatting? What are the different templates we normally utilized to format the document? We also had a quick glance at how the research paper format looks like. Actually, we looked into the IEEE format of research paper and we understood what all things does it contain, what kind of guidelines does it offer and all. So these were the key things that we understood, and we understood it was very important for any person to understand formatting and follow it religiously. Today's topic is actually all about how to write research paper in a good language and how to get our diction right, and it's all about going to be it's all going to be about how to write better text or better language when we try to talk about anything in our research paper. So let's have a quick introduction of what this topic means and what it is going to cover. The first thing we need to understand is that communicate the information in short. So we are talking about a research paper writing, by the way, right now. So in research paper, we know that we have lots of technical data to talk about. We have lots of motivation and thought process to talk about. I think you do understand that there may be situations that you may end up writing long sentences in order to accommodate lots of technical or non-technical data. You might think that you are actually doing a very good job in writing good sentences or information packed in a sentences, but that's not really a very good practice of writing things. Why it's not a good practice? Because somebody who is reading, they don't want to go through long sentences in order to grasp a small information. People often tend to lose information while navigating through long sentences. This is why in a standard way of writing, in a standard practice of writing, it is always recommended not to use long sentences and communicate the information in short. Second point says that ensure the write-up is free of grammatical mistakes. Well, this is not this is not going to be an excuse for anybody. Okay, nobody wants to spare someone having grammatical mistakes in their research papers. Let me tell you a quick fact. When researchers actually review the papers from the researchers submitted to a publishing platform or in a conference, the first thing they might want to look at is the grammatical mistakes. Now the key thing, one of the things that I have understood over time, that reviewers don't normally spend time reviewing a research paper if the research paper is having more than 6 to 7 grammatical mistakes. What this actually means is that the researchers have not put enough thought before documenting the paper. They have a lot to fix, and this is not the job going to be done by the reviewers. So of course there is a lot of possibility that your paper gets rejected at the early stages of the review. So it's very important to make sure that your grammar and spellings are correct. They are up to the mark. Third point says that use punctuation marks wisely. Punctuation marks how you end sentences. Talk about questions, talk about statements, talk about how to separate your sentences, right? There are different punctuation marks in grammar. You have to use them wisely and wherever necessary. Fourth point says that avoid spelling mistakes. We already covered this in the second topic. sorry, the second point, spelling mistakes are uh, not an excuse for anyone, because it is something that we are adhering to the language, and it's a very silly mistake to make. So these are the four important points to understand before we actually start thinking about writing a paper. The note here is that make sure we use spelling or grammar check to ensure bug-free write-up. Grammatical errors are normally the silly reason which can cost you a paper rejection. That's very true. It normally happens and people don't realize it. The second part of this section that we need to understand is that scientific languages and sentences should be written in a particular way. We have understood about the grammatical errors and the spelling errors, right? Now we have to understand, when we are talking about scientific data or the technical data, how do we have to write that? So the first point that we need to think about is short sentences with single piece of information look more professional. That's actually understood thing. Nobody wants to dig into a long sentence to find out a very small piece of information. This shows how much you are good in writing and what is your grasp on the language. A good language uh, is always helping in expressing your ideas in a much shorter time and in a more crisp and concrete way. So please adhere to the short sentences containing single piece of information. Second point says that use of scientific jargons is preferred, but overuse of which is a problem. To explain this point, I have put up an image here where the professor is actually trying to overcomplicate a problem. Then students tend to ask him that wouldn't it be easier to ask someone who is actually complicating the equations. Basically the idea is we should not be overcomplicating a discussion or a text which does not require overcomplications. There are few areas where we have to use scientific jargons in a much more prominent way, but it's always not recommended. Remember, lengthy sentences are difficult and confusing to the readers. We have already talked about this. Use abbreviations wherever possible, but expand them in the keyword section. This is also one very important thing. Suppose you are talking about some kind of abbreviations or technology names, or some kind of short forms are you using in your papers, right? So you don't want to always write the expanded version of the technology name or the product name, anything it can be, right? So you might really want to expand those keywords or abbreviations in the keyword section, so that you don't need to expand them everywhere in the writing of paper. The last point is that avoid verbose. Avoid verbose means wherever possible avoid writing more text in order to communicate a small information. People often with lack people who are having lack of understanding of language often choose more words in order to convey a very short piece of information. That's what called as uh, verbose, and it's normally a problem because uh, when you are done writing your research papers, you might see 15-20 pages of research paper, even though you are not necessarily writing that much of data. Friends, I have a tool for you that which you might already know. Most of you might be already using it in your daily life, but I want to still go ahead and talk about it. Whenever you are writing a research paper in a Microsoft Word document or any other tool, there are always tools available online as well as in the softwares itself to make sure that we don't end up into spelling and grammar errors. So like Microsoft Word spell check is there, and there are many other online grammar check tools are there, which you can definitely use and get away with these silly issues that we are talking about in this. So thank you guys. I hope this was useful for everyone. Again, to talk about it, language is very important. How we write the text and technical data in a research paper is the key in how we express our ideas to people. Language is something that keeps people interested in reading your paper for a longer period of time, keeping their interest. So please work on your language. If you think you are lacking in language, please practice writing the technical data in your daily life and try to come up with shorter sentences, grammatically correct sentences. This is going to be a very good practice for everyone, and when we are done with this, I think it's going to be very useful when you start really writing your paper. So thank you guys, see you in the next video.